The thigh-high socks are knit from the toe up, and the cast-on I prefer for toe-up socks is Judy's Magic Cast-On, which is very simple and gives a beautiful result. And the first thing to do is to position your hands. I have my yarn tail over my index finger, and I have my working yarn over my thumb. And I can tie a slip knot at this point, but I generally don't. I generally just wrap the yarn around. And now I'm ready to go. Okay, so I've got my first stitch on this needle, and I'm going to have the same number of stitches on both needles. I'm going to have 18 stitches. And I wrap the yarn from my index finger around the lower needle, and then I wrap the yarn on my thumb around the upper needle, and I just continue to do that. Thumb, top, index, bottom, thumb, top, index, bottom, thumb, top, index, bottom. And I just keep, I just keep doing that until I have the total number of stitches that I need. I have got, this yarn is so light, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 on the bottom, so I'm just going to have to keep this up until I have all 18. And notice that on the bottom, it's giving me what looks like purl ridges. Top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. And you can see you can get in a rhythm here. As I said, I need 18 stitches. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, 15, 15, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18, 18. And although you can do this with double pointed needles, you'd be crazy too. So I've got my needles pointing this way. I've finished my cast on. I turn my needles in the opposite direction, and I want to make sure, here's my yarn tail, it's on the top needle. I'm going to kind of hold it to the back so that top stitch stays tight, and I'm going to pull my needle from the bottom, and I'm going to work these stitches. And I didn't put a very long cable on these needles, so it's going to be a bit tricky. And I'm just going to knit the stitches onto this needle. Okay, so first thing is to do the cast on, and it is to work the first round. And this is part 1 where I'm knitting the stitches. And when I get to the last one, we'll see what we do there. Okay, now I've knit all the stitches off of this needle. I turn my needles back this way. I pull the cord so that these stitches are on the needle. Okay, then I pull this needle out so I can work these stitches. Now I go ahead and I knit the first one, and that's either the slip stitch that you made or kind of where I just wrapped it around. And now notice that the orientation of these stitches is twisted on the needle, so I'm going to knit them through the back. If I don't do that, they'll be, the first row of these stitches will be twisted. Knit, knit, and it's a little trickier. Knit. Just gonna work to the end, and I've got 18 stitches. This is a fine yarn, and that's a lot of stitches for a toe, but it's going to give me the right size. These socks are designed to be a little bit oversized, so you can wear them over leggings or tights if you want. Okay, almost done. Now I need to start increasing stitches for the toe. And I like to use, you can use any increase you like, but I like to use lifted increases because they give you a very nice looking toe. I've got one of the socks done, and you can see that's where we are right now. And by using lifted increases, I get this nice little ridge line up the side of the toe, which I like. So on the right side, I'm going to, again, adjust my needles. Make sure I use the working yarn, not the yarn tail. I'm going to work one stitch, and then I'm going to make a right slanting lifted increase. And to do that, I get the leg of the stitch below my current stitch on the right side, and I knit into it, and then I knit the stitch. And that's going to give me that nice line right there. That leg of the stitch is going to be elongated. Now I'm going to work, except I split a stitch. I'm going to work to the other side, and I'm going to make a left slanted lifted increase, which can be a bit tricky. And if you're having problems with these, you can go to my blog, mirandaholiday.com, and I have close-ups of how to do these lifted increases. Or you can go onto the Cast On Extras and or Pattern Basics, and there's a video there. Now, here's where I'm going to be making my lifted increase, and this is the leg of the stitch I'm going to use. Problem is, I've got to work this stitch to get to that stitch first, and as soon as I work it, it no longer is the stitch on my needle. But I can't use it to make the lifted increase because it would just collapse on itself. So I go down to that other stitch and I do it. Now I'm going to repeat that on this side of the toe, and I just keep doing that until I have the total number of stitches I